Hello everybody, this is Grant, also known as the Collector75, and welcome to a response video to tattimus Prime. Now, he done a video a couple of days ago on Grails, and I think he managed to achieve one of his Grails in his video, which is absolutely fantastic. And he wanted to know what other people's Grails were, or even what sort of people thought about Grails and stuff like that. Now, I wanted to do a video on this because, one, I do have a Holy Grail, and I'll come to that in a minute. But I do like to waffle on, so it might take me a while to get to that. But I thought I'd go back right to the start, because everybody has a Grail of some sort, even long before I was even collecting toys. Back when I was a child, and they were just my toys that I wanted. You know, there was always toys that you can get, you know, because your parents wouldn't buy them for your birthday or Christmas or whatever. So there was always things that were unattainable. And as you grew up, things change, and I'll come to why they change. But you know, I remember for a time now, I didn't use the term Grail until someone on YouTube mentioned it years ago. So you know, to me they were always just toys that I've wanted, and I got quite a lot of the toys that I wanted, especially the G1 toys, just because I found a shop a long time ago, long before eBay, and he was just selling old toys, and people would come in there with their collections, sell them, and I'd buy them, you know. I think I was in competition with the, can't remember what they're called now, bloody hell. Yeah, well anyway, I was in competition with these two other lads, the twins, and I think they sort of run TF Nation as well, can't think their bloody name, the Mapes brothers, that was it, because they only live in Ashford over the road from me, funny enough. Yeah, and so I was picking up what I could from them, really, and I got virtually everything that I wanted, apart from like Pretender Monsters and a couple of Action Masters, which I'm still missing. Yeah, so now I think a few other people have mentioned this before. I couldn't, you know, Zort Rider, Rudy Zoo, Dave Shotton, that Grails have changed. Then it's not because they're unattainable anymore. It's how much money you're willing to spend, thanks to eBay. You know, for example, I don't have a Leo Kaiser. I'd love a Leo Kaiser, but I'm not paying the money that people want for it. But I could if I wanted to. I'd just flash my credit card, which I love doing anyway, and I could just get one tomorrow, but I won't. So a Grail now has become something that is genuinely unachievable. Now, if you haven't got the money, whether it's on eBay or not, it is a Grail because you can't afford it. You see what I mean? But I think eBay especially has redefined how we see a Grail, I think. So, I mean, what's the word? How am I trying to phrase this? I used to have a Holy Grail, and that was probably a Grand Maximus. I really did want a Grand Maximus, and I did have an opportunity to buy it. And I think some guy on eBay was selling it for £600 in Wales, and it was mint in the box, as far as he was saying. And yeah, I could have got that one, but at the time I was in a bit of debt and I didn't want to spend £600. I wish I had done now, to be honest, but I didn't, and I haven't seen one. But I've seen one on eBay, but price is astronomical, so you forget about that. But then I learned of a toy that I haven't seen anywhere. I do internet searches every now and again, nothing. And now I only learned of this one off a freak eBay search. I was just, because I used to put in a search for Transformers KOs all the time, or knockoffs, or do variations, bootlegs, anything on that. I used to bring up loads. These days don't bring up so many. I'm not exactly sure why. All the only ones it will bring up is usually the MP KOs. Hardly get any of the good KOs, which I love getting. Like these, for example. I got these the other days from Sir Toys. Provided I don't put it all over the floor, which is like, you know, an oversized classics Seeker mould. You know, it's just great. It's just lovely. But I'm going to do a video on those someday, if I find the weapons that have fallen down there. There we go, with red rubber. I'll do a video on those anyway, because I wanted to use one of those for a custom, if I ever get a chance. Anyway, yeah, I've lost my train of thought now. Blah blah blah. But yeah, I was doing an internet search, and I only come across this toy, and it was a Generation 1 Overlord, but it was a knockoff, and it had chrome parts. You know, the chest covers were chrome, and it had a chrome feet, I think, and a few other bits like the guns were chrome and stuff. And I thought, wow, but the best thing about it is that it didn't have Overlord's head. It had Star Saber's head for some bizarre reason. And now, from what I know, that this toy is actually, it's not called it, I can't remember. I'm going to put a picture somewhere around here, if I remember. So anyway, hopefully you've seen the picture by now, but if not, I'll stick it at the end if I remember. Yeah, so this thing is now known as Oversaber, and it's pretty cool in my eyes anyway. Now, I saw this a long time ago for Freak eBay search, and I thought, oh, I might have a bid on that. Now, it went to over £200, and at the time, with KOs, you are really in a grey area of what they're worth, because some people hate KOs, other people like me, I don't mind the old KO, you know. But I wasn't prepared, and I didn't know whether £200, because for all I know, I might see half a dozen of them next week for 25 quid or so, or 50 quid. So I didn't bid on it, and so regret it, because I can't remember how much it went to. It was definitely under 300, but it was over 200. So yeah, I thought, well, I'll keep my eye out. That was about 6-7 years ago, and I've never seen another one. Never seen another one on eBay. Every time I do a search, anyway. Gutted, man. So I really wanted it. It looked fabulous, and it was right up my street for KOs. I mean, the one that I saw was in the box and everything. It was complete. Shame, really. But there you know. But that's the way it goes with Grails, isn't it? But that's my only Grail, because it's not because I can't afford it. It's because you just won't ever see one. I've done searches on the internet for it, and they are a bit on the gold dusty side. So whether I ever see one or not, you know, one day I will. But that's the point, innit? It's things like Zort Rider said. You've got to. It's not about buying it on the internet. It's that thrill of the hunt, and that's what I used to love. I'll tell you what, it's the thrill of the hunt. That's why I got these out the other day, because I had to go to my parents' house, and I got my Beast Wars Transformers boxes. Now I think I got this one off the Big Bad Toy Store, for example. Now, only because you couldn't find these ones in the UK, not this one. This was a recolour of Tarantulas in the black and silver deco, and I really like this one. I think I got that off the Big Bad Toy Store. It might have been eBay. I can't really remember now, but it was a while ago. But I did hunt down these ones. These ones were released in Toys R Us back when, what, about 98, 99. This is a Transmetal 2 Dinobot, and I managed to get the bone one. I managed to get this one. The only one that I couldn't find in this country was the original Transmetal 2 variant. I've got another one up here, actually. I'll show you what I mean. Is this it? This is Optimus Minor. But as you can see, it's got the Transmetal in Roman numerals there. So the only one I could never find is that one, and I want to get that one. There's another one where Dinobot's in a weird position, but I'm not too bothered about that. But it was mainly that. But yeah, I wanted that. But I managed to hunt down this one and the bone one at Toys R Us in the UK. I'm pretty certain I did anyway. And that was great. When you go to Toys R Us or somewhere like that and you see these things, you look through every peg and you find it. That is what getting a Grail is all about to me, not just clicking on eBay. And it's sort of ruined it for me. I mean, it's good in a way, because it allows us all those figures that we previously unattainable to get. But I think it does take something away from finding it and just in the wild. Yeah, because that was fun times. I still remember these toys. I love looking at these because they take me back to a time before eBay, when you had to physically go down the shop and buy them. And I had such fun doing that. I used to do that every Sunday. Jump in my car. Off I went to Woking, where Toys R Us was. I'd swing back round on the motorway, go to Hayes, Toys R Us. Oh, that's what I do on a Friday. Actually, I do on a Sunday, and sometimes I do on a Friday afternoon, because that's when they had their deliveries in. So I'd scout out all the new ones, and especially around Christmas time, they'd run out of the European ones, so they'd get all the American ones in, which was great. So I bought loads of the European ones, and then they started getting all the American ones in, which I prefer the boxes, because it doesn't have all the 50 languages on it. Yeah, so that's been my response. Maybe it was alright. Maybe enjoyed watching it. Yeah. Right. This has been Graham, the Collector 75. I'm going to go now. I'm not quite sure how many videos I'm going to be doing for a while because I haven't got a lot of time, unfortunately. So we'll see about that one. Anyway, right. I shall see you all next time. Bye.